ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, August 27th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You want to have that number handy because I just got my ticket count today. We're going to start giving away tickets early. We've got Marshall in action next week at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Guess what? I'm going to make one of you a lucky winner today. We're also going to do that tomorrow. We're going to do that on Friday. We're going to do that next week as well on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So start the text line going. Get that going now. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And I'm under instructions. Make sure these tickets do not go to waste because I was told they're actually pretty good tickets. So we're going to take good care of you. Thanks for everyone last year making that possible. We get to do that again. So you know how that works. Usually I've got something to ask you. I try to make it easy as much as possible. I don't want to try to make this don't jump through hoops, man. I just want you to go to the game. That's usually my deal. And if you text in, you get good stuff, you contribute to the show. I mean, sometimes I don't have a question for you, but if you got good stuff, things that maybe make the show better, you're gonna get your name in the hat, and we're gonna make a winner out of one of you. So we're gonna have a fun show tonight as well because we've got coming up in a little bit. Ryan Crisp is joining us. Ryan, of course, he's got so many hats and so many titles at Marshall University, fan engagement, ticket sales, all kinds of titles. He's going to join us about 5:15. And then I've got joining us at 5:30 from the Bulldogs Sports Network, Jeff Dantzler. He does the pre-post game. He also does a lot of the other sports at Georgia. So he's going to join us. We'll get a sort of a bird's eye view of what we can expect from Georgia on Saturday, maybe what the vibe is going into this game. Typical home opener, typical non-conference game for Georgia. Is there any more juice for this game than normal? What are people saying about Marshall? So that's coming up in the next few minutes as well. And, of course, we'll get things started off with our text line here in a minute as we get closer to the start of the game on Saturday. We've got still a few days left to kind of figure out what the depth chart's going to look like. We got it Tuesday, and we've been looking over it. Okay, some things here. I don't think this is concrete because, again, if you look at the depth chart, the first thing after Marshall depth chart is unofficial, meaning at 3:30, we'll know the depth chart. We'll have a better idea of what we can expect out of this team. And so I think the big one, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, I'm going to say possibly he's the quarterback. Running back, it might be running back by committee. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to kind of shift during the game. And Coach Gibson talked about that yesterday, just about the fact that there's been a lot of movement with the depth chart. There were guys that maybe started not necessarily on the 1 or 2 side of the depth chart, and now they've kind of worked their way up, and that's really made him excited because he doesn't look at the depth chart as anything other than a tool. It's an opportunity for guys to kind of get themselves better. Also, hey, if you're the number 1 quarterback, we need the guy behind you. We're going to go to him. And if you're the starting running back, that doesn't mean you're going to run the entire game. We've got guys behind you. We're going to put the best guys in at the best moments. We're going to keep everyone fresh, healthy. And I think he's really trying to build depth, not just, hey, have some really good ones, and then we got some 2s. I think we're looking at a situation where we want 1s and 1As and maybe even 1Bs. But he talked about the movement of the depth chart and just how important it's been to see a lot of guys move up and kind of show themselves.
Yeah, we do. There's some guys that you all will be surprised when you see them run on the field with the first defense or offense on Saturday. And I'm proud of those kids. we had some position moves within camp. We had some DBs that were playing really well that were 1s and 2s, and now they're all, they're 1s now. So, we're moving pieces, and it's not over. Obviously Georgia's a big evaluation of where we're at. When the lights come on, how are they going to react? And Sunday we have to get back in here, win, lose, or draw, and we're going to have to figure this thing out. Who are our best 11 guys on both sides of the ball, and who are guys that are backups that we can count on. So this depth chart is going to be revolving, these first few weeks to see where we're at.
Don't print it. That's all I'm saying. Don't print it. Keep it handy, but don't print it. It's going to change. Unless you like scratching up your depth chart, this thing might change several times. So we're going to get more into what's happening with Marshall football later on. We've got a couple of other items from Coach Gibson we want to talk about. We've got coming up in the next few minutes, Ryan Crisp. He's going to get us caught up in everything we need to know. Big concert coming up this weekend. For those of you that are making the trip to Georgia, there is a concert. It's a country concert. I hear it's a musician that is pretty good. They play his stuff over on 93.7 The Dog. I, for one, am not familiar with the country music arts. I hear it's really popular music. And we'll talk to Ryan about that and everything else that's going on. He'll get us caught up in everything when we continue. Then later on, Jeff Dantzler. He joins us from the Bulldogs Sports Network. Excited to talk to him about what we can expect in Athens on Saturday from this Georgia Bulldogs team. We'll do all that when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big on your next painting project at Menards. Get long-lasting color with Pittsburgh's Grand Distinction Exterior Paint and Primer in one. It's highly dirt-resistant and provides a mildew-resistant coating. Save big on Grand Distinction Paint. The perfect combination of strength and beauty. Visit us in-store. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Summer's winding down, your lawn's slowing up, and the leaves, they're already starting to drop. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping doesn't miss a beat. From final cuts to full fall cleanups, fresh mulch and winter prep, they've got your yard handled before the seasons change. Reliable, local, ready for what's next. Lock in your fall services now with Robert's Lawn and Landscaping. Visit robertslawn.com. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping, where every season starts strong, reliable, local, and ready for what's next.
Now in stock, hard-to-get Chevrolet Traxxas, over 50 available. More coming, starting under $23,000. The Car Ferry says clear the lot, 2026 is on the way. GMC 2026 Terrains, 40 in stock, up to $1,800 off. Mark Porter Chevy GMC in Ashland, Kentucky and Pomeroy, Ohio has truck. Take up to $14,000 off. 2025 GMC Sierras. Offer includes $3,500 owner loyalty rebate. Must own 2011 or newer Buick or GMC. Come to Route 7 and Route 33, Pomeroy, Ohio, Greenup Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky. Over 800 GM vehicles available. Car dreams do come true. Sale ends September 2nd, all rebates to dealer.
The soundtrack to your summer is back. Mount West 9th Street Live, downtown Huntington's favorite Friday night tradition. Presented by Michelob Ultra and White Claw. This Friday, it's the final 9th Street Live of the summer, with live music from the heavy hitters on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Bring your friends, bring the family, celebrate the season, and soak it up before summer is officially gone. 9th Street Live is driven by University Ford and built by Cardinal Roofing. Every Friday night through Labor Day, 9th Street in Huntington, in between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Arena, and Kindred Communications. This Friday, it's the final night of Mount West 9th Street Live with the heavy hitters.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue with this Wednesday edition. Just a few more days between here and kickoff. Marshall going to be taking on Georgia, opening the season up on the road. But there's a lot of home activity going on as well. Believe it or not, there's a country music concert going on at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. To tell us more about that, and I'm sure he's been getting phone calls every single day. Hey, you got a couple of tickets? It is Ryan Crisp. He is, again, the longest title at Marshall University, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement, and I'm sure that title is not long enough for all the jobs you do. How you doing, Ryan?
I am terrific, Paul. What a beautiful day in Huntington, West Virginia. A beautiful week. And I don't know if anyone's driven past the Joan lately, but there's some things happening around the football stadium right now.
Yeah, there is. There's. I was hoping you'd say you were marvelous because I'm going to live the Marve Myers way of life now. I'm just going to be marvelous.
He is quite the guy. Very entertaining, very outgoing, very well spoken. He's a pretty good football player too. So we are excited to have Marvelous Myers on the squad.
I like it. He definitely made an impression yesterday for a lot of us in the media that hadn't had a chance to talk to him, but he's just one of the faces we're going to see here in a couple of weeks. But before that, we've got Marshall at Georgia. I know this. Every single ticket that you had available is gone. Nobody can get a ticket unless you go on the secondary market. And you don't want to do that. You want to, you don't want to do that. You want to stay home and go to the concert on Saturday if you're not going, right? That's the deal.
That's right. Lots of things happening, and so we were lucky enough, and obviously our fans travel well. We know that, and even with a pretty big concert in town, we were able to sell through our allotment that was given to us by Georgia. And so we're excited to see, I would say somewhere just over 2,000 Herd fans probably down in Athens supporting the Herd. So we're excited for that and to have a sea of Kelly green within the red of Athens. But if you're not going, obviously I know a lot of people that are staying back for the concert, for the Zach Bryan concert in the Joan. They started yesterday about 1 p.m. Within the stadium, and I think there was 14 semi-trucks in line. And they had their forklifts, and they were pulling stuff off. And now they've got the entire field covered, and they got half the stage up. And the entire east lot is basically like a little town with all of the portable restrooms and the tents and the sleeping habitats and a kitchen where they're doing all the catering for all the workers this week. And it's absolutely crazy. It's a fun sight to see. It's a great thing not only for Marshall and Marshall Athletics. But it's a great thing for the city of Huntington and the exposure it's going to bring and the amount of revenue that's going to trickle through the city over the next 4 days is going to be tremendous.
What's been the challenge coordinating that and the continuation of the expansion of the Shoey with the deck almost being done? How have you, being Marshall University facilities, navigated that challenge? You want to put on a great show, and you want to make sure that the stadium's ready for the deck and the football game the following week.
Yeah, for sure. No, the concert crew and the deck construction crew had to work together for sure. The good news is the deck crew is at a point now where they're kind of working in different areas where they're working well together to make sure everyone has the space they need to get done what they need to get done. So both crews are going at the same time to make sure that their areas are ready for when they need to be ready for. So it's just everything's happening at once, and there's people flying all over the place, and semi trucks and forklifts and generators and everything you can imagine all over Jones C. Edwards Stadium right now. So it's absolutely awesome to see. The concert's being put on by AEG. The ticketing is actually through a company called AXS. So nothing's going through our ticketing system or anything like that. Everything's kind of outsourced through them. We did sell parking passes through us on the west lot, but those sold out pretty quickly, as you can imagine. So if you are looking for parking for the concert, I know the United Way is opening up the old ACF lots, and they'll be selling that on game day. Our cheerleaders are going to be selling the State Electric lot for the concert, and then all other Marshall University lots, other than the ones, directly next to the stadium, are going to be open free of charge, and that includes the 3rd Avenue parking garage. So lots of options for people, but it's been, organized chaos, as I would call it. First for us to host a concert, especially to this magnitude within the stadium. And so the guys that have come in are absolute pros, and they do this all over the world for, numerous artists. The crew that we have specializes with Zach Bryan and his shows. So they know what they're doing, and they've come in and they've had a plan, and it's been terrific. And then they're packing up and they're headed to the big house and they're headed to Notre Dame. So a pretty cool little deal that we get to be a part of, and we're honored and we're fortunate to be able to do that.
And if this goes off well, which it looks like it's going to, this will be the first of, I'm sure, many opportunities to bring big names into Jones C. Edwards Stadium.
Yeah, I think that's the goal for sure. We would like to see this as a yearly thing. I think for us, schedule-wise, it makes more sense in the spring probably than it does in August. But at the end of the day, it would be a great thing to have, not only for us, but for Huntington as a whole. If you knew every, whatever weekend and whatever time of the year there was going to be a big-time concert coming to town that you wanted to be a part of. And then naturally, the more times we do it, the easier it gets, right? Now we know what to expect. We know what's going to happen. If we're able to partner with these same touring companies, then we're able to, they know what to expect. They know how to get things done. They know where things are. They know who to rent all their things from. And so I think we can make this a thing. We just need to make sure this one is put on to the best of our abilities, and then we'll go from there.
Our guest, he's Mr. Do-It-All at Marshall University. He's Ryan Chris, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. So with the concert being probably the thing that's in your face the most, you just can't overlook it as you see it every day, and that's including the construction with the deck. We got football to get ready for. Of course, the Herd's on the road taking on Georgia Saturday, and then after Marshall comes back with that win, be back home for the first game in the Joan under Coach Gibson. What are you most excited about, and what should fans be excited about as they kind of finalize their plans to be a part of the season?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things, right? Obviously, Coach Gibson era, his first game at home as the head coach of the Thundering Herd. We're wearing the green helmets for the first time at home on September 6th. That's going to be something that's going to be unique and different, and something for fans to see. As the game theme itself, it's the We Are Marshall game theme, which is standard for our first game of the year, where it's all about community and family and welcoming people back to the Joan for tailgating and for wins and all the good things that we get to do in that stadium. We have, some big groups coming to the game with the Marshall Staff and Faculty Appreciation, and the Chamber of Commerce is bringing a big crew of people. And so we're excited to host a lot of people within our stadium. The crowd, the size-wise, is looking really solid early on here. We still need some people to buy some tickets and hop on Herd Zone. But overall, we're in a really, really good spot numbers-wise for the first game. It is a green out, so everyone wear green as it is standard for that first game. We ask everyone to wear green for that first game, and we call it a green out. So, like I said, we're just in a really, really good spot, and excited to host everyone back in the Joan. We got some things coming back from last year. The $2 Blitz is back officially, which is the first hour that gates are open, you can get $2 hot dog, $2 popcorn, $2 fountain beverage at the concession stand. So a little incentive for you to come early and avoid the line as you get later into the game there, and take advantage of a great deal at the concession stand. We have, of course, Thunder Walk, a tradition here at Marshall that'll be back in the West lot 2 hours and 20 minutes before kickoff. And then right after Thunder Walk, we have Fan Fest, which is going to be elevated to a different level this year. We're able to get that on the rec center field. So just a better place to host it, a great place for families to come and hang out and let your kids run around and enjoy the inflatables and the snow cones and meeting other Marshall athletes. We're going to have some entertainers over in that area. We're going to have temporary tattoos, and then all the fun yard games with, Jenga and cornhole and chippo and the rope game and all the fun things that we do everywhere. It's going to be a great spot for families to hang out pre-game. So a few more surprises coming for in-game elements that we're elevating this year. But overall, it's going to be a great experience. And like I said, we're more excited to host people back within Jones C. Edwards Stadium and put on the best show that we possibly can.
You mentioned just a moment ago you're looking pretty good right now as far as ticket sales, but you got room for more. I know there's some mini packs available. If you can't go to every game, you can come to some games. What can Herd fans expect if they're trying to maybe maximize their dollars and still get to see some Herd football this year in person?
Yeah, we have everything on sale, all great options still available. So from a season ticket, starting at $99 with the family pack, where if you buy 4 on the east side, you're going to get them for $99 a piece. By far the best value within the entire stadium. Within any ticket that's sold, that's the best value. We have the mini plan where you get to pick 3 out of the 6 home games, whatever 3 games you want. Those start at $99 as well for all 3 games. So another great option there. And then single game tickets, right? All of our single game tickets are on sale where maybe if you're not able to from a work standpoint or you live out of town or whatever it may be, single game tickets are available for all 6 home games right now. And so lots of options for fans to choose from, lots of great values. And we know how fortunate we are for every single fan that comes into our stadium on a game day. We know the burden that can put on you as a family from a budgetary standpoint and spending your hard-earned dollars with the Herd. But that's what this community is about, right? We say we are Marshall for a reason. We have a story that no one else can tell, and we appreciate that more every day. And we understand the value of every single fan we have. So we appreciate every dollar, every single minute you spend from a time commitment with us. And we know how much it means to us, and we know how much it means to you. And hopefully we can return that value through not only, what's happening on the field from wins and losses and meeting athletes and all that good stuff, but from your experience, on the outside and everything that we try to do to make sure that you enjoy your time while you're with us.
Ryan Christ joins us, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement. Football's the big story. Concerts, the big story. Let's not forget before we go, we've got Thundering Herd Invitational coming up on the 29th. Also, number 12, Virginia Tech comes in to take on number 2, Marshall in men's soccer. What do fans need to know?
Yeah, obviously, from the cross-country meet, that is free admission out there at the Kennedy Center at Route 2. I think we're projecting to have a winner on the female side from our side, so we're excited about that. And that's an event that was started a couple years ago and keeps on growing with more teams. And so it's, a great opportunity to watch a sport and support some athletes that maybe you don't get to see a whole lot just because they only have the one home event every year. And then, isn't it crazy that we're going to have a top 25 matchup at Hoops Family Field? We just come to get to know that our men's soccer team is going to be a top 5 team in the nation, number 2 right now. But once again, how lucky we are to have them, to have the opportunity to host that. And we are expecting a close to capacity crowd there that night. We've already sold a bunch of tickets with all the people coming into town for the concert. I think that's helping. And so, we are expecting a close to capacity crowd at Hoops Family Field. So if you don't have tickets, I would get them soon for that game.
How fun is it to have a coach that probably comes in your office once a week and go, okay, Ryan, here's a place where I think we can squeeze a few more seats in. What do you think? I'm sure those conversations have happened.
No, for sure. And I'll tell you what, the first couple of men's soccer games, even the fans' first game, the exhibition game, and then when they played George Mason, the atmosphere and the crowd and the excitement level, it's just different. It's different here than maybe anywhere else in the country. We were talking about the other day, we feel like we have the best college soccer experience in the country. We feel like from a revenue standpoint, we are very, very high on that list because of our fan support. And so we are very proud of our men's soccer program and what they're able to do, and Coach Grassi and what he's built here. And we're very, very fortunate to have that, to be able to showcase that, national championship caliber team every single year here in Huntington, West Virginia.
Ryan Crisp with us, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Get your cowboy boots ready. Zach Bryan coming on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
That's right. Can't wait.
Do you actually own cowboy boots?
I do not. No.
Same here.
I'm not a cowboy boot. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Same here. I mean, I work at a country music radio station. Doesn't mean I actually listen to country music radio. Don't tell my boss that, okay? Would you?
That's all right. No, I'm the same way. I got I think one pair of tennis shoes and 2 pair of dress shoes, and that's not all I have in my closet. So.
All right, I'm bringing the Nikes out on Saturday, the green ones. You know the one that everyone got last year for Christmas. So I'm bringing those out on Saturday.
Game day shoes.
Yep, the game day shoes. Exactly. Good talking to you again, Ryan. We'll do it again soon.
All right. Sounds good, Paul. I appreciate it. Go Herd.
There you have it. Ryan Crisp. He does everything at Marshall University. I do not exaggerate. Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. When we continue, Jeff Dantzler. He joins us from the Bulldogs Sports Network. We'll get a perspective of what Marshall can expect in Athens from one of the voices on the radio in Athens when we continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is Marshall head football coach Tony Gibson, and it's time to bring the thunder.
A new era of Marshall football is here. Lock in your season tickets now and be part of every big play, every hard hit, and every Herd victory. Single game tickets and mini ticket plans are on sale, plus premium seating options for the ultimate game day experience. Don't miss the first home game, Saturday, September 6th, 6 p.m. against Missouri State.
Be there, be loud. HerdZone.com has your tickets. Let's go Herd.
It may be goodbye summer in Huntington, but it's hello deals here at University Ford. Broncos up to $8,000 off or finance at 0%. Escapes up to $6,000 off or just $292 a month. Explorers now up to $5,500 off. Plus 0% financing and up to 125% of KBB for your trade. New ownership, improved process, better deals. Better deals. Visit us at University Ford in Huntington or online at universityfordwv.com. See deal for complete details on all offers.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Cowboy Huntington Health Department providing monthly after-hours vaccine clinics for all of 2025. The clinics are being offered on the first Monday of each month between 3 and 6 p.m. at the department at 703 7th Avenue. No appointment is necessary. This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Black Sheep Harley-Davidson, 4th Avenue and 4th Street, downtown Huntington. Online at blacksheephd.com.
The soundtrack to your summer is back. Mount West 9th Street Live, downtown Huntington's favorite Friday night tradition. Presented by Michelob Ultra and White Claw. This Friday, it's the final 9th Street Live of the summer, with live music from the heavy hitters on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kid Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Bring your friends, bring the family, celebrate the season, and soak it up before summer is officially gone. 9th Street Live is driven by University Ford and built by Cardinal Roofing. Every Friday night through Labor Day, 9th Street in Huntington, in between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Arena, and Kindred Communications. This Friday, it's the final night of Mount West 9th Street Live with the heavy hitters. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're also giving you a pair of tickets to go see the Herd next week in the home opener. Already a couple of texts come in, and I don't know if my next guest is going to like the score predictions I'm getting. I've got 24-21 Marshall. I also got one in favor of Georgia, 34-17 in favor of the Bulldogs. The spread's pretty big. I don't know. It might be close. It might be a blowout. To give us a little bit more perspective on what we can expect on Saturday from the Bulldogs Sports Network, Jeff Dantzler. Jeff, good talking to you. We're looking forward to this one Saturday. Marshall, big-time matchup in Athens, taking on the Bulldogs. It's been all this week the talk of the town for a lot of these Marshall players. I'm sure for folks in Athens and for Georgia, just another home opener? Is that fair?
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement. Obviously, Marshall's a great program, and Georgia's a great program. The history, of course, the tie-in with Coach Donnan, who turned Marshall into a powerhouse and then came to Georgia and was Kirby Smart's coach. So there are a lot of storylines here, and to me, Marshall's one of the great unknowns. I mean, they were a top 20 team last year, obviously won the Sun Belt, had a phenomenal season, and then we all know what happened, and we could do 20 shows on how college sports needs a more effective timeline. It was tragic what happened, that Marshall didn't even get to play in a bowl game. But I do interviews with Kirby every week. I've known him since his freshman year, and I mean, we talked about it. There's so much respect for Marshall, and like he said, if you win the Sun Belt, you have really done something. And like I said, with Marshall being the great unknown, I don't think either side really knows what to expect out of the Herd Saturday.
Some of the players talking to them respectfully saying that this is the best time to get Georgia because Marshall, not anything on film. Georgia, nothing on film. I mean, anything can happen. Nerves, you could have some mistakes. Anything's possible with a first game for both teams, and Marshall might have the advantage with more unknowns. We all know it's Georgia, right? I mean, you line up against the Bulldogs, you pretty much know what you're going to get. Big, fast, and strong, to kind of put it in a nutshell if you listen to Coach Gibson.
Well, and I think that goes back to the point, too, with Marshall, with so many different players. We talked about it. Georgia's staff has been working quadruple overtime because you got to say, all right, who's coming in, what positions, where did they play last year? We got to go find film on whether it was at Jacksonville State or Oklahoma or Texas Tech or whoever it might be, where those transfers were from. And Kirby had joked around, too. He said, we're going to have our staff's going to be really busy about 30 minutes before the game when Marshall's going through their final warm-ups just to look out there and see who the 11 are on each side. So I agree with you. I think it is a bit of an advantage for Marshall, and we know the Herd's always going to be talented. Such a great program. They've done it at every level for a long, long time. And another thing we know about Marshall, they've obviously gotten huge wins through the years. They've nearly beat Ohio State. They've beaten a lot of the traditional power. So we know Marshall's not going to be intimidated on Saturday.
I think one of the big questions for both teams, quarterback position for Marshall, you might see three quarterbacks on Saturday. Coach was keeping that close to the vest. We pretty much know we're going to see Gunnar Stockton under center on Saturday. You know, how's he progressed? What have you seen from him, and what does he give Georgia that we can be excited about just as college football fans?
Well, Gunnar's got a lot of moxie. He's tough, and his name got called last year, and he was prepared. Georgia's starting quarterback was injured on the last play of the first half of the SEC championship game, and Gunnar came in and helped lead Georgia to a victory over Texas. He got the start in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame. I thought he did a good job. I mean, Georgia just had we were plagued by drops last season, and if you didn't watch that Sugar Bowl, and we both sides, you've been on the good side and the bad side of it. Notre Dame basically had a 17-point flurry in about a minute. They got a field goal, forced a turnover, got a touchdown, then ran the kickoff of the second half back for a touchdown, and that was pretty much all she wrote. But Gunnar has been waiting for this his whole life. This guy's been somebody that's been on everybody's radar since he was in 8th grade. He's just one of those guys, and it's his team. And I think what's great about it, too, I mean, he's stuck around. He's waited his time, and now this is his time. This is his 4th year in the program, so everybody's really excited about him. And what he's going to be able to do.
What stood out to you as you've gotten ready for this season, as you look at this team, trying to figure out what the identity will be? What maybe stands out to you that you're excited for and you're hoping shows up on Saturday?
I think there are a couple of positions where Georgia looks pretty good. I think at linebacker and at tight end, the Bulldogs should be really good. Big question is our punter, Brett Thorson, who was also injured in the Texas SEC championship game. He's an All-American Ray Guy Award finalist. Don't know if he's going to be ready to go in this one or if it might be more like October. Honestly, last year, Brett and our field goal kicker, Peyton Woodring, who was 23 out of 25, I thought collectively they were Georgia's team MVP last season. So I think excited to see that. And also, Georgia's wide receivers were not good last year. The Bulldogs led the country in drops. So just to see if that group as a whole can improve, there's some new faces there, and get this running game back on track. Georgia football, its history, a lot of great running backs, and with Kirby, that's been a huge strength. That last year the running game just slumped, and so that's been a top priority in camp.
And that's been a similar storyline here at Marshall. Coach Gibson, he joked that he would love to start the game with a 6 or 7 minute drive on the ground, get those running backs going. And you look at the depth chart right now, the depth chart lies. You might have one person highlighted, but there are 5 guys. And Coach Gibson's kind of indicating we might see all 5.
Sure. Yeah, I think Georgia's kind of in a similar boat. I wish we had a Todd Gurley or a Sony Michel or a Nick Chubb back there, but I think Georgia's got 4 or 5 good backs. I don't know if there's an elite runner out there, so I think it's a similar situation with Marshall. Try and get those guys lathered up and see who that hot hand is.
We're joined by Jeff Dantzler. He is from the Bulldogs Sports Network. He'll be providing everyone game day coverage on Saturday for the Herd fans that are making the trip down to Athens. I know it's been a few years since Marshall has made that trip. What's changed from 2004 to now that maybe Herd fans need to be aware of, or what should they be excited for, as this is going to be one of the toughest venues that Marshall has ever played in? I don't think there are too many other venues that can compare. Sure, maybe Notre Dame. Sure, maybe Ohio State. But the Herd's going between the hedges. This is not easy.
Well, it's really not a whole lot since 2004. That was a heck of a defensive game. It was 13-3. But we've just at Georgia, we've got our guy in Kirby Smarty, and he played here. His wife, Mary Beth, was a great basketball player here. They love Georgia. This is where they've always wanted to be. We've had great coaches through the years, don't get me wrong, but this is Georgia's Steve Spurrier, Bear Bryant. He's come home. Just to give you an idea, his Family Foundation charity, I MC their Giving Day event every year, and they've gotten to nearly $2.5 million for over 100 charities that they've raised money for around the state, in Athens, and for the university. Kirby and Mary Beth endowed a classroom for the business school at Georgia. So there's just that authenticity and that altruism with giving back. And I think all 99.9% of Georgia fans, of course, everybody wants to win every game, but realize we really are in a golden era of Georgia football. I mean, 8 straight years in the top 10, the back-to-back national titles. But as Kirby always says, humility is just a week away, and we all know everything can seem rosy, but it can turn on just one day.
Jeff Dantzler's with us, Bulldogs Sports Network. Jeff, before I let you go, I'm kind of curious. We know that the SEC's changing scheduling philosophies. We might not see too many games like Georgia and Marshall in the future as you try to make sure that schedule conforms to league standards. You're trying to get into the postseason. Georgia, it's not as hard than, say, a different school at a different level, but you still have to be competitive. And the schedule change, what do you anticipate as far as adding another league game and getting to the point where you might have to just play a couple, lower tier teams? What's the thought process going on right now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think with so many of the changes in college athletics, I think some of these great intersectional games you've seen through the years are certainly in danger. And So going to 9 SEC games, and for Georgia, for instance, we play Tech every year. Florida plays Florida State. South Carolina plays Clemson. So obviously you're going to play those games. That's 10. Then it comes down to, are you going to dial up a couple of games where you don't have to give the return? A warm-up game for like Georgia plays Austin Peay next week. So a game like that, or are you going to roll the dice? And Kirby's played Notre Dame twice. We played Clemson twice. We played North Carolina. We played Oregon. So we played in a lot of these huge opening matchups. I just don't know how much of that you're going to see. And I just think that goes across the board.
I've seen already a lot of schedule changes, a lot of the so-called group of 6 schools losing those autonomy games, those power games. So, I'm curious how long this is going to last, because I think these are great matchups. I mean, it's a great opportunity for Marshall to come down to Athens every now and then. A lot of unknowns. I mean, Athens is a great college atmosphere, and not everybody gets to come to a Georgia game every year. So games like this really mean a lot to people in college football, and I hate to see them go away.
Oh, I do too. And again, I think with Marshall being such a great program, and again, you're talking about 2 teams that have won a lot through the years. And again, with that connection with Coach Don in there, I think it's going to be a really, really special day on Saturday. So I'm with you. Hey, I think the more good games, the better.
Our guest is from the Bulldogs Sports Network, Jeff Dantzler. Jeff, thanks for doing it today. I appreciate it. I know it's going to be fun on Saturday, and we're looking forward to, hopefully, I'm sure you'd like to be a little bit more of a score gap than that game last time, but we're hoping for a great game.
Let me tell you, I'll take a 1-point win right now, every day. And I'll tell you, the one time I said that was Kirby's second game. We had just beaten North Carolina, and I said, you know what? It's Nicholls State we're playing. I'm not going to be satisfied with just a 1-point win. Well, we won 26-24, and we're hanging on for dear life at the end. So I'll take a 1-point win right now.
Good philosophy. Jeff, thanks for being a part of the show, and we look forward to catching up with you again.
It.
That's
anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. That is Jeff Dantzler. He's from the Bulldogs Sports Network. Great talking to him as Marshall gets set to take on the Bulldogs Saturday. We'll have the game for you. We go on the air with our pregame coverage, 12:30, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and 93.7 The Dog. Our text line is open, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Hi, I'm Elise Smith, First Lady of Marshall University and founder of the Women Warrior Summit. As a woman of Appalachia, you know how much strength it takes to shift direction, especially when you're carving a new path forward. Maybe you've been thinking about changing careers, going back to school, or even refocusing your energy on something you once loved. I am so proud to announce that the Women Warrior Summit is back for its 3rd year, where we'll be focusing on the power of pivoting and how to approach life's turning points with clarity, courage, and intention. We'll hear from journalist, author, and entertainer Hoda Kotb, explore Jenny Blake's coveted pivot method, and even talk about how AI can support our next steps, whatever they may be. Join us Friday, October 24th at the Marshall Health Network Arena. Visit WomenWarriorSummit.com to learn more. I hope to see you there.
The soundtrack to your summer is back. Mount West 9th Street Live, downtown Huntington's favorite Friday night tradition. Presented by Michelob Ultra and White Claw. This Friday, it's the final 9th Street Live of the summer, with live music from the heavy hitters on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Bring your friends, bring the family, celebrate the season, and soak it up before summer is officially gone. 9th Street Live is driven by University Ford and built by Cardinal Roofing. Every Friday night through Labor Day, 9th Street in Huntington, in between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Arena, and Kindred Communications. This Friday, it's the final night of Mount West 9th Street Live with the heavy hitters.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? Can you even believe that? I mean, people need marrow, you guys, and we have it. So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek, this cheek. Then go to Gift of Life Marrow Registry. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And in case you're wondering, if you're a match, donating, it's a lot easier than you think. So wherever you are, go ahead and swab that cheek. Go to giftoflife.org and get a free kit sent to your home, or find a donor drive in your area so that you can swab a cheek and save a life. It's only a minute of your time, but it can give someone else the rest of their life.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, Metro News Talk Line. Coming up tomorrow, Dave will be on the call right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're giving you a chance to win tickets for the next several days. Marshall in action next week at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. We got the home opener after the Marshall Thundering Herd go down to Athens, Georgia, gets the win over the Bulldogs, coming back to take on Missouri State. I'm going to give you a chance to win tickets all this week and next week. So if you'd like a shot at tickets today, I make it easy for you. Text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, listening to Coach Gibson is refreshing. He's better than, this is the texter, not me, he's better than the Mummy or the phenomenal Motor Mouth. And hey, Coach Gibson looks like a football player, ready to play big boy football. All right, I appreciate the text. Again, I think I know who's the Mummy, and I think I know who the phenomenal Motor Mouth is. I think I do. I'll leave it at that. I would leave it at that. Hey, you want to hear a little bit more from Coach Gibson? We were talking earlier about quarterback. Georgia has a really good quarterback. You have a situation here where you have a quarterback that comes in, was expected to play a situation in which, okay, next man up. You're the next man up. What can you do? And so you have that situation for the Georgia Bulldogs with Gunnar Stockton. He comes in and he gets the job done. He was ready to go. What's Coach think about Stockton? What's he bring to the table? What's his impressions of him? As we've seen him, we haven't seen a lot of him, but we've seen enough. What about quarterback for Georgia, Gunnar Stockton?
He throws the ball really well. He's got a strong arm. He can extend plays. He will pull it. I don't know how much they're going to use him in the run game, but he is he's an able runner. I mean, he could do what they need him to do off the zone reads and pull it, and so we have to be prepared for that. But you could tell he's a smart kid. He understands their schemes. I mean, he got thrown in the halftime of the SEC championship and came in and played really well. So had some big throws, and then he started against Notre Dame. So he's been there, done that, and he's a really, really good player in my opinion.
And one more from Coach that I wanted to ask him. After all, Coach is a defensive guru, right? That's his background. Defensive coordinator. He's now head coach. So what's he see from that Georgia defense? Bigger, stronger, faster? Is that basically the name of the game?
Very big up front that can run really fast and hit really hard. So, those linebackers, DBs, they get the best of the best. And obviously with Kirby, his defensive background, I mean, they're very well coached. They're sound with all their schemes. They don't give up a lot of big plays. So, we're going to have to grind this thing out. And, 2 or 3 yards of carry is not going to be a bad thing for us. I'm not going to get frustrated, and I'm not going to let our offensive staff get frustrated as well. We have to take our time, and when our shots are there, we got to deliver on them. So
that's Coach Gibson, his comments from presser yesterday. We will get more of your texts throughout the week. And again, closer to game time, I expect more from you. We'll give you an opportunity to win tickets each day to go see the Herd next week in the home opener against Missouri State. And you can do so by texting 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's show and every day here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So don't forget, we've got a busy week. It starts tomorrow. We've got Spring Valley football coming up on Thursday. Saturday, we've got the Thundering Herd. I'll be live at Giovanni's, 20th Street. That's going to be fun that day. I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be tremendous around Jones C. Edwards Stadium for concert atmosphere. You really have never seen that kind of atmosphere at the stadium. And so Zach Bryan coming to town, that's going to be a big deal. And if that's successful, it looks like and sounds like it's going to be, we can see more bigger name guests of Marshall University in concert. I'm not saying Taylor Swift showing up anytime soon. I'm not saying that. But there could be a door open here really wide for more concerts, at least big-name concerts. I like the idea of having like that one big-ticket concert at least once a year. Now, I don't know if I want to open up the venue to, unless it's a festival, you bring in a lot of bands, a lot of venues, a lot of football stadiums, do that. If that's something that could be possible, you can make a festival of it, sort of a spring festival, summer concert series. You could bring in a lot of big names. That would be, I think, really cool for Marshall University to be able to do. That's going to do it for this edition. I want to thank my guests. First up, Jeff Dantzler, Bulldogs Sports Network. Appreciate him telling us a little bit more about the Georgia Bulldogs. And, of course, Ryan Crisp. We always appreciate him joining us and telling us all the latest coming inside of Marshall University. That does it for this edition. Don't forget, if you missed anything today, you want to go back and listen to it later on, or you can't listen live every day, so you'd like to find another way to listen to the show. Well, we've got you covered. It's our podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.